Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for checking this video out. If it's your first time here, a very special welcome to you. If you are returning, thank you so much for your continuous support. In today's video, I will be chatting about CV writing. It is the beginning of the year and many of you would have completed matric recently, and some of you have completed your tertiary studies, or you're just looking for a new opportunity. Maybe you took a gap year, and yeah, if that's you, this is for you, and I hope you will learn just a few tips that I'll be sharing on. So yeah, I mean, you've got to start with your CV, which really if you've just completed matric, just qualified, you might not have much experience, but the important thing is that you need to highlight your skills, your qualifications, without over highlighting the fact that you don't have any experience. If you've had any leadership roles, make sure to put those. If you've been a prefect, you've been a captain, that will actually tell recruiters of your leadership ability, that you are able to lead others. So don't look down on those. If you were a class monitor, any of that experience is important, especially if you don't have a lot of working experience. So make sure that you also keep your CV current, like keep on updating it. If you had vacation work, make sure that you add that, because that's experience that you've earned, and hopefully then that just puts you at a better competitive advantage over other job seekers. So there's a lot of templates that are available online. I will link up one or two where you can go and customize your CV, or you can just come up with your own, but make sure that you keep it nice and short and concise and to the point, and don't put a whole lot, because to be honest with you, I don't think anyone has a lot of time. When you're looking through a pile of a whole lot of CVs, you don't want to be looking through a 10-page CV. I know I'm exaggerating, maybe about 2 pages, 1 to 2 pages. Really, the rest of the information, when you get an opportunity to go into an interview, you will then speak into more detail with regards to your experience or your qualification or any accolades that you might have received. Next tip is that you must make sure that as you apply, if you're doing cover letters, you need to make sure that you tailor make the cover letter to each specific employer that you're applying to. And that's very important. Make sure that you don't put one company's name and you're sending the CV to another company. That won't come across very nice. Another one is that you should make sure that, in line with the advert that you've seen, that you use some keywords that you've seen in the advert, because those are keywords that recruiters might use when searching through CVs. If they're looking for somebody, who's done, certain kind of work, then they will be searching for those keywords, and then your CV then will pull through when they do that search. So it's very important that you have a summary on the very top of your CV, a summary of your qualifications, a summary of your experience if you have any, because that then at a glance lets a recruiter know what you've studied, where you're currently working if you are working, and where you have worked, just to show what experience you have. Then they go on the body of the CV just to see in detail then in terms of how long you've worked at these places. But that's very important, because if you're working through a pile of a whole lot of CVs, that will catch a recruiter's eye. So next, I'm going to just get to some mistakes that you need to avoid when writing your CV. You need to spell check. So yes, you've typed up your CV now, you've finished everything. Make sure that you run spell check. Make sure that your contact details are correct. You cannot be sending out CVs wondering why you're not getting callbacks when all this time your contact number is incorrect or your email address is incorrect. And also I would recommend that once you have done the spell check, that you PDF the CV before sending it out. If you keep a PDF copy, a lot of you have smartphones, I would like to believe, and if you don't have, obviously you use internet cafes. Make sure that they scan it for you proper, that you're not sending a document that's scanned poorly, because that is your reputation, that is your first impressions, that you will just come across as somebody who's unprofessional, not serious, and obviously you wouldn't want to ruin your chances before you even get that opportunity to go for interviews. So another one is that you must try and avoid using inappropriate language or any slang. Also, your email address, make sure you've got a professional email address. I mean, your nulls or babe will not come through as very professional. So I would advise against all those, but just have a professional email address, just simple with your name and surname or anything you prefer, but nothing playful. Obviously you now want to show your professional self, and yeah. So while you edit, make sure that the formatting is correct, that you use the same font throughout, that the spacing is, proper, and that your alignment of your CV, that you don't have certain words starting in the middle and some starting on the left hand, on the far left hand side. Just make sure that you format your CV properly, that you really end up with just a clean CV. You're welcome to put a picture if you'd like, even though some people advise against putting a picture. I quite like putting my picture on the top corner of my CV. It just puts a face to the name, and I do hope that also helps recruiters to remember you when you do go for an interview, that they make that connection with you, that, oh, I remember this face. And yeah, but I mean, I don't think putting a picture or not putting would really ruin. I think it's actually the content of the CV that will really speak of your abilities and your potential then for whatever position that you're applying for. Something else I need to warn you against: please do not lie on your CV. You will be caught out, and it will be very embarrassing when you suddenly asked about experience that you've claimed that you have. For example, the recruiters do reference checks. If you've lied about a qualification, you'll be caught out, and you might just find yourself in an embarrassing situation. So please spare yourself any embarrassment. So also make sure that you don't leave any gaps on your CV. If you took a gap year, indicate that period. So as you put your CV, I hope we all know that you should put it into in chronological order, meaning in date order. Put it in that order, that its story that you're telling flows, and don't leave any gaps. If you were caring for a sick relative, put that in to, just to account for all the dates. You need to have had a conversation with anybody that you put as a reference, that they don't get a surprise when they get a phone call of somebody calling about Nolita, and they're like trying to think. So, give them a heads up to say, you know what, I'm sending out some applications. I would like to put you as a referee, and hopefully they will agree. And yeah. So if you haven't worked, you can actually have references. So you can have a pastor in a church, a youth leader. You must remember that we do work not only in a professional setting, we also work in the communities where we stay. You can put a teacher that maybe mentored you as as a learner. That's called a character reference. So if you haven't got any work experience, you can still have character references, people who can attest and just vouch for the kind of person that you are. Have a chat with them and give them a heads up so that they know to expect a phone call when you are. I hope this video has been helpful. Good luck, and I hope you land that job soon. If you have enjoyed this video, give it a massive thumbs up, like it, share it with your friends, put the notification bell on so you don't miss out when I send the next one. See you in the next one, everyone. Bye.